to my daily video. Today we are celebrating 61 years of Doctor Who. Happy birthday to every era, everyone who's ever worked on Doctor Who, and great love to anyone who still loves this show. Some eras we love, some eras we hate, some eras we forget about. It doesn't matter what you love or what you don't love, Doctor Who is an amazing thing. Also on today's video, we'll be talking DC and James Gunn confirming that Batman and Superman don't get origin stories in the DCU. I'll be telling you my take on that, and we'll be talking about Mike Flanagan's Clayface movie as well. So bear with me after we celebrate Doctor Who Day. 61 years of Doctor Who is an amazing achievement. And even when it wasn't on our screens, we've had Big Finish. We still have great Big Finish stories, so they're part of the celebrations as well. I celebrate everything, everyone. And I know today there's a lot of discourse around Doctor Who, but I don't think on a birthday, on an anniversary, we should be talking about the negativity that surrounds modern day Doctor Who. It all started in 1963 with An Unearthly Child, which is my favourite episode of Doctor Who ever. There's no better pilot episode of any series than An Unearthly Child. It focuses on the Doctor's granddaughter, his only companion. At this stage, they ran away from Gallifrey together and are now kind of lost. But on Susan's insistence, she wants to explore and, investigate the human race. So she places herself in this school, Coal Hill. But she kind of piques the interest of her teachers, Ian and Barbara. By the way, Ian is my favourite companion ever. Now, they discover the TARDIS when they follow Susan. Now the Doctor decides, well, he's got two options here, either to kind of kill them or abduct them. So he decides to abduct them. The dynamic between Ian and the Doctor is fascinating, not just in this episode, but going forward. I've never seen a companion challenge the Doctor in the intelligent way that Ian does. Ian was a fantastic companion, played so well. You know me and names. I've forgotten his name. I think he died this year, which is very sad. He was a tremendous actor, and Ian was a wonderful companion. And that absolutely is my favourite episode of Doctor Who ever. And there's so many great episodes, but I think when you look at it as a first episode, and Sidney Newman actually developed the idea of Doctor Who. They wanted some kind of educational kids show, and Sidney Newman came up with it. Now, Verity Lambert was the kind of series producer. She did a magnificent job and created a lot of the elements that we see in Doctor Who today. She was a genius. When you talk about representation and female inclusion, there's no bigger than Verity's inclusion in the creation and the continued development of Doctor Who. But it's just a crazy idea. It's a crazy show. It went from 1963 to 1989. Then, as we know by now, Russell T Davies brought it back kicking and screaming into the 21st century in 2005. Davies did an exceptional job in his original run. Then Stephen Moffat came on board. He'd already written some Doctor Who episodes, brilliant Doctor Who episodes. He gave us a great era, in my opinion, warts and all. Yeah, there's some things that I didn't care for, but as I said to him on his birthday when they announced it on the Doctor Who, official social media account, thank you for every single episode you've ever written of Doctor Who, even the ones I didn't like. So I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. I'll be binging lots of Doctor Who. Doctor Who the movie is another unpopular, episode of Doctor Who. And, there's a brilliant documentary on that DVD of Doctor Who the movie you should really check out. That's amazing too. But Yeah, it's just amazing. There's such great history. It's a great time traveling story, but it's very, very unorthodox. So happy 61st birthday, Doctor Who. I'll be celebrating all day. Why don't you get in the comments below and tell me your favourite episode of Doctor Who, ever your favourite Doctor? When we talk about favourite Doctors, I don't know. I don't know who my favourite Doctor is. My first Doctor was, well, Tom Baker for 5 seconds was my first Doctor when he fell off and became Peter Davison. But Peter Davison was my real first Doctor. He's the reason I fell in love with the show. I'm the Doctor. The Doctor of what? I'm the Doctor of everything. When he says that, as I've said many times to you guys, when he says he's the Doctor of everything, that blew my mind. Oh my God, he must know so much. So happy 61st birthday to Doctor Who. Now, let's talk DC. Now, Scooper, not a good Scooper by the way, Daniel RPK, is claiming that DC Studios is moving forward with a Clayface movie. Very, very exciting. Now, this was supposed to be written and directed by critically acclaimed director Mike Flanagan. What we're hearing now is he's only written the movie, and because of his scheduling, he won't be directing the movie. If I know studios at all, and I do, I think they'll rewrite Mike Flanagan's script as well. But I still think it's dumb to be greenlighting and developing all these projects when Superman hasn't been released and they don't know how well or how badly it's gonna do. As I said yesterday, it's like giving a series order of a television show without broadcasting the pilot. But they may be so confident, in what Peter Safran and James Gunn are doing, that's why they're moving forward. It's actually Peter Safran's birthday, or I think it was yesterday. James Gunn apparently has known him for 25 years. So, things are looking a little bit clear there because he was involved with the old DCEU after Snyder left and Hamada came into play. So that's very interesting that James Gunn and Peter Safran have known each other for 25 years. I'm not going to be cynical or negative about that. I mean, look, this is the industry. It's a closed door. There's no real representation and inclusion in the entertainment industry. They all pretty much know each other anyway. But at the end of the day, he talks a good game, Safran. He's making some interesting moves, bringing Mike Flanagan in. But if Mike Flanagan ain't directing Clayface, I'm still interested in Clayface, but it's not as exciting. We will see what happens moving forward. Happy birthday to Peter Safran. Now, James Gunn has confirmed that Batman and Superman won't have origin stories in the DCU. I'm absolutely fine with that. But it's not about not having or having origin stories for Batman and Superman. Gunn claims that everybody knows them. And he's right to a point. But if you look at the Batman by Matt Reeves, although we skip year one, we skip the origin, they don't stop mentioning the fact that the Waynes were murdered. In fact, the Waynes' murder is the defining central arc for Bruce Wayne in the Batman movie. So everybody, they mention the origin story repeatedly. So, you could argue, is that still an origin story? Well, they skip year one, they skip the beginning of the character's story, but they mention his origins a hell of a lot. So it's not about, just because you don't have an origin, it doesn't mean you've got something successful on your hands, and that's the right thing. I know fans have got fed up in movies seeing Bruce Wayne's parents getting killed again and again. I haven't got fed up of seeing that, by the way. Maybe that's just me. But it's not just a case of skipping the origin, it's how you deal with skipping the origins, because you still kind of need to know that Superman's from Krypton. Now, I know most people know that Superman's from Krypton, but not every normie knows that. And you need to suck the normies in. And telling the origin story is a good way of doing that. So, as I say, I know this will be very popular with geeks and nerds that, they're skipping Superman's and Batman's origin stories in DCU. But again, it depends how you do it. And how you do it and how you execute these things is very important. Batman and Bruce Wayne are defined by the Wayne's murders, right? He doesn't become Batman if he doesn't see his parents murdered. So it's very important you underline that fact. So you still have to mention it. You still have to deal with it. And it's very important that Clark Kent, Kal-El, Superman, was born on Krypton. You cannot skip that fact.